To take this one from the Southeast Governors Forum desk, they have expressed opposition to the planned nationwide protest from 1st of August, and they have cited concerns about the fragile political environment and also the potential hijacking by criminal elements. The chairman of the forum, Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State, stated the position of the governors from the region on Wednesday at the State House in Abuja after leading meeting with President Bola Tinubu along with the governor of Ebonyi State and then the former president of the Senate, who recently defected to the ruling All Progressives. Okay, that's parasite. Alright, now Uzodimma acknowledged that protests are allowed in a democratic setting, but he emphasized the need for reasonable conception and clear objectives, questioning the motives behind the protest as the organizers have not publicly disclosed their reasons. The governor warned that protests could worsen the economic hardship caused by the global recession and advised against overheating the polity. He urged protesters to engage with the government to address the significant issues rather than resorting to demonstrations. Now, in one breath, you said that the leaders of the protest have not told us what the reasons for the protest are. Now you're saying let's embrace dialogue so that we can handle these pressing issues. That already shows that you are making reference to some pressing issues as the reason. So I feel like that's like saying two things at the same time. But let's get your thoughts on this story, Mufasa.
Like you rightly observed, you see, these people, they've always contradicted themselves. I'm not aware of any protest that government has actually supported the agitations of the people, if my memory serves me right. There's never been a time that citizens who have been, shortchanged, who have been balkanized, who feel agitated, and they want to come out to ventilate their concerns, that any government, whether be it at the center or at the state level, have ever come out to say that we allow you to protest, we're in support of your protest, just go about your protest. They've never done so. So for me, this is not coming to me as a surprise. But then again, when the governor of Imo State, when he begin to use words like the other means to engage the government, you're not aware of what the reasons for protest are and all of that, it goes to show how insensitive these so-called leaders are to the plight of the people. Before now, people have been complaining of how difficult, how hard, how terrible the state of affairs of the economy is, how terrible people could hardly, fend for themselves and all of that. So if he's coming to tell us today that, he's not aware, that means I don't know what else to describe the kind of characters we have in government. You spank a child and at the same time you are telling that child not to cry. That is the height of injustice. I'm also aware that according to one of the laws of motion by Isaac Newton, that for every action you should expect an equal and opposite reaction. So if the people felt that enough is enough, I mean, we've done all that is necessary in terms of trying to bring to the notice of the government through other means, through the social media, conventional media, to say that we can no longer fend for ourselves. There is serious hunger and starvation in the land. People could no longer send their wards to school. Families are living in abject state of squalor. And this has been on for quite some time. And governments, to the best of my knowledge, they've not done anything meaningful other than carry this, sharing palliative to God knows who gets it. What people are saying that we cannot buy petrol, we cannot buy staple food in the market. And if a government that is serious in, providing solution, to take us out of the woods, you will see concrete, deliberate, intentional, moves in place that people will know that this government is serious in making life better for the people. But what we see is, them running around in circles. They keep spending money on themselves, spending money on private jets and all of that. And the people, you expect them to just sit down and watch you, feed fat on their commonwealth, and they won't say anything. No, you can't do that. You can't continue to, to subjugate the people. It won't work. So for me, I'm not calling anybody to protest. What I'm only saying is that the governments and the governors of the Southeast who have gone to see the president, I'm sure they won't say, I'm not surprised they didn't say anything short of what they have said. And that position does not reflect the position of the people. They should come out and tell us how they went to the streets of the Southeast and sample opinion of the ordinary Nigerians who are suffering, and they say that, they are okay with the state of affairs and they won't come out for a protest. So for me, what they've come out to say is just their own, ways of trying to, mesmerize the people further.
All right, let's get your thoughts, Ambassador here.
Well, I want to thank the Southeast governors for realizing that there is a signal for a national protest. Because the worst thing that will happen to a man is when you pretend as if nothing is happening or will happen, whereas you already are aware. So I think it's a good, responsive reaction from the governors of the Southeast. Now, in as much as I appreciate that protest is part of democracy, like the governor of Imo State reiterated, looking at the memory lane, protest has never really helped us as a nation, because leaders are not leaders who are very much respectful to protest in Nigeria. I would like to state clearly, one, like my brother have said, the protests in quote that we have seen over the media is called or tagged hardship protest. Hardship protest. And sincerely, are things not hard and difficult in Nigeria? The answer is yes. Are we not suffering? Yes. Are things not difficult with us? Yes. The price of commodities are high. We can't really afford our meals. We can't pay our bills. But recently, we saw that our leaders, starting from the National Assembly, have cut down their salary to 50%. There are some intentional decisions that government have made to see that at least they are making effort to ensure that things get better. Like I requested and pleaded the last time I was here, that hence they've tried to adjust, because part of our agitation or advocacy has been, can our leaders also pay the uttermost price of sacrifice by reducing the cost of governance, by also sacrificing what they have for the common man? Not all the time the common man is sacrificing.
Well, let's look at the steps that you said that the government has taken to make sure that things get better. How much or how effective do you think those steps that you think they have taken to make things better would be at this time?
You see, part of what is making us as Nigerians not to believe government is because we have not seen their actions, their words match with actions. So for the very first time that our National Assembly members, our leaders will say, let us reduce our salary, I think is an open action that they have demonstrated. Now, we already found ourselves in an insecure environment as a nation. For instance, in the Southeast, using it as a case study because of our discussion this morning, they are already embattled with criminality. They are already embattled with insecurity. So having a legitimate, day of protest, of agitation in the Southeast, the governors are afraid that it may not really serve the purpose of that protest.
So you think this is a statement of fear by the governor?
He spoke on behalf of the Southeast governors.
Yes. So you think
now,
this is a statement of fear from the forum?
No, you see, first of all, he has alleged that the organizers of the protests have not come up clearly with the intent or the purpose of that protest. And I said that what we have seen over the media, social media, that the oncoming protest, if it will hold, is tagged, what did I call it again? Hardship protest. So it is clear. So I want to inform the governor of Imo State that the protest is called hardship protest. Now, let me also come in.
Okay.
You know, part of why we have challenges in this country, and that is why we are retrogressing most times. Those who walk around the governors, those who walk around our leaders, most times, because they despise leaders who wants to see our governors, our president, our National Assembly members, our senators, because they don't even give you the opportunity to have access to them as a leader. For instance, I lead a very large group across the country. But it will shock you to know that if I want to see the governor of Imo State, because I'm not leading a violent group, I can tell you for free that they will not even either take my mail to the governor, nor will the governor even take it as a serious issue that...
Have you experienced that before?
I'm a leader. I know what I'm saying. If I want to see the Senate president right now, it may not be very easy. If I want to see the president of Nigeria, it may not be very easy. But if the government hears that, if I want to see the governor of Rivers State, I will not see him easily. Even a commissioner in Rivers State, it may not be very easy. But if they hear that I have 10 AK-47 and I want to see the president of Nigeria, I want to see the governor, I can tell you for free that they will orchestrate a meeting for me to meet the governor.
So what point?
So what I'm trying to establish is that our current leaders have killed, you know, civil society groups. They no longer have regard and value for civil society. And that is why we are where we are today. Now he is asking for dialogue. Dialogue with people that you will not want to see. Dialogue with people that you don't want to have access to. So I want to call that if actually they are serious with Nigerians, very many Nigerians are represented by different social and civil society groups and pressure groups. So I think that in each of the states, see how you can organize a town hall meeting. See how you can orchestrate a meeting with civil society groups so that you can hear their feelings. Yeah, so that they can also make some suggestions.
All right. We'll get to the suggestions.